the Growing Your Own Money podcast. Dean Thorpe, a CEO and financial advisor, and his son James Thorpe, a social media marketing business owner, sit down and discuss all things to do with money, goals, business, and the markets.
Okay, another interesting topic to discuss. Something that you mentioned when I was younger.
Yeah.
In fact, you set up a little PowerPoint slide with me.
Yeah.
I must have been year 6, between year 6 and year 8 it would have been, maybe even younger. Called mind changes.
Yeah.
You described them as mind changes. And within those PowerPoint slides were photos of cars, photos of footballers, people who at that time I was looking up to, or things which I wanted to achieve.
Yes.
At that time.
Yeah.
So I'd love to discuss that in a little bit more detail, sort of 10 years on. And also, just starting off, like, what are some good ways that we can focus in on our goals and the things we're trying to achieve and the places we're trying to get to?
People always talk about, oh, you've got to have goals, you've got to have goals, you've got to set goals, got to have goals. And remember, there needs to be a purpose in order to have the goals. No point setting goals just for the sake of it.
Yeah.
Because like New Year's resolutions, you get fed up, you get bored, because you've no real major definite reason for setting those goals, unless you have a major definite reason, major definite purpose.
Yeah.
A great big reason, goal, purpose for wanting to get to where you're trying to get to. So the first thing to prioritise, recognise and set is what's your major definite purpose. What's the reason you're doing what you're doing now? Where are you attempting to get to? What's the big thing?
Yeah.
What is it? And if you don't know, then that is your major definite purpose, to discover what it is and enjoy the journey while you're getting there, using these same techniques for goal setting. So in order to set some goals, either agree to set your major definite purpose or work it out, and then you break that down into the goals that you've got. The reason that we use some of these techniques is it's attempting to encompass all the different senses.
Yeah.
Predominantly visual, auditory, in the main, kinesthetic, how it makes us feel, and then the other two, smell and taste.
Yeah.
Okay, difficult with those, but sometimes if you think about where you've been and travelled to, there are sights, sounds, but there are also tastes and smells.
Yeah.
So there can still be times when you want to be able to taste it, you want to be able to smell what you're doing, where you are. So all 5 of the senses, but predominantly the 3, visual, auditory and kinesthetic.
Yeah.
Being able to touch something. It's the reason that a very good car salesperson, the first thing they will do, ask you about the colour, and then they'll open the door and let you sit in it. Because straight away you're looking at it, you're touching it, you're feeling it, you're hearing the sound of the car opening.
Yeah.
If it's an old-fashioned petrol or diesel engine, they'll start it up so you can hear it.
Yeah.
Of course, in the electric world, it's about the whir of the wheels, I suppose, now.
The speed.
Yeah, and the sound of the speed. So, some of the mind changes that I use and you have used are embracing those principles. We've talked about the daily 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
What's the daily 1, 2, 3? The daily 1, 2, 3 is about taking some of the goals you've got set and applying a daily process to them. So the 1, 2 and 3 are as follows. Your daily 1 is just a bold goal. It's just a goal that you need to make sure that you achieve on a daily basis to get you closer to the goal, that when you achieve that goal, it then moves you on further to your major definite purpose, gets you closer to it.
Yeah.
In amongst all of that, some of the interference that we sometimes get, and dealing with interference, so the 2 of the daily 1, 2, 3 could be a resistant goal, could be something that you don't particularly want to do or don't particularly like. It might be a phone call that you've been putting off. It might be something daily, changing a habit. It might be your relationship with money. It might be the fact that you're not fit enough and you need to start the couch to 5k.
Yeah.
The resistant goal is something like that, or it could be something even more kind of menial than that. Might even be a little bit boring, but it's still worth doing. Could be something as simple as a bit of declutter. You know, you might have a cabinet or a cupboard or a room that needs decluttering. What's the best way of decluttering? Well, you could do it all in one go, but if you can't be bothered to do it all in one go, go and do a bit. Go and spend 15, 30 minutes doing a bit. You'll be surprised how much better you feel from doing it.
Definitely.
That's the 2. That's the resistant goal. That in the daily 1, 2, 3. And then the third one is more of a breakthrough. It's more of a, if you did that, and they can sometimes be harder to find and set daily. So I always do the daily 1 and 2, but need a bit more thought to the 3, because if you do the 3, it's like, wow, I've done really well today. It's a bit more of a breakthrough goal. You could even be over the moon potentially if you've achieved that,
right?
Because it's really got you somewhere. So an example for you of a breakthrough goal could be some of the lead generating that you're doing. If you get to the point where you bust your target in terms of contacts with folk, and also you set some meetings up,
definitely,
all in the same day, that could be a breakthrough goal for you in terms of your daily 1, 2, 3. The important thing about all of that is it's habit forming, it's daily, hence the name. Do you have a day off? Entirely up to you. Somebody wants to get really good at something, they don't have many days off, if at all. They practice every day.
Yeah.
I'm sure that the Jamaican sprinter, Usain Bolt, I'm sure he had very few days off in order to become the fastest man in the world. So his daily 1, 2, 3 will have definitely been daily.
Yeah.
He's having his time off now, isn't he?
Well, exactly. No, he's enjoying it.
Where he's got to.
Definitely.
So that's one example of the mind changer setup, and then it's how you apply that. So the 1, 2, 3 can be triggered in a number of ways. You have all your goals written down, don't you?
Yeah.
In order to aid that and help you with that, I would definitely recommend some kind of image diary. What do you call it?
A vision board.
Vision board. All right, great. The reason I gave you the PowerPoint way back when is because that encompassed everything. It had got your daily goals set on it, but it was visual in terms of something that you were looking at and aspiring to at that point. And if you looked at that every day, took yourself through it, could be a PowerPoint keynote presentation, or it could be stills, photos or photographs, pictures of, could be material things, could be a watch, a car, a house. It could be somewhere you want to be. It could be something or someone that you want to be.
Yeah.
In terms of what you're aspiring.
Like a role model.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And looking at that can help you get closer, because you are helping your mind that can often work against you to work alongside you, to work with you.
Yeah.
So an image diary or a vision board can be really powerful in that sense. I would, if you're really serious about it, I would have that as well as a PowerPoint presentation, a keynote. Because what a PowerPoint keynote would do is you can add music, because you can add every element to it.
Got it, yeah.
Whereas the vision board is more visual, without the sounds, without the tastes and smells. You can create those in your mind when you're looking at the vision board.
Yeah.
Whereas a presentation on a computer of some kind, you can add sound to it, and you can get more of your senses activated in a slightly different way. So that's the second element of a mind changer that you could use. The third one is something called a fast forward. So if you give me an example of one of your goals that you've got at the minute.
We'll do the reading one again. Read 30 books.
Yeah. So the fast forward goal, rather than just having read 30 books, you could reframe that goal and write it as if you've achieved it.
Yeah.
So we're writing it as if it's March 2025, looking back 12 months later, and you could write something to the effect of reading 31 books during the course of 2024. Reflecting back now, I realised just how much I was able to take on board. The information and the education that I've given myself has been incredible.
Yeah.
And had a massive impact in my business and personal life. You see the difference that can have in terms of the way it makes you feel.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't know if you noticed, but I stuck an extra book on there. I said 31 rather than 30.
Yeah.
That was just me playing with it.
Yeah.
Because you can bust through the goal. It's like scoring a goal or a basketball or winning a race. You go through the line.
Yeah.
You don't stop at the line, you go through it. And that's why I bust the number there for you. But what that's doing is, again, it's helping your mind to think in a way that it will help you to achieve the goal that you've set.
Yeah.
Whereas if you've just got written down, read 30 books, every day you're looking at that and read 30 books, read 30 books, read 30 books.
Yeah.
You've already read 7, so it should say 23.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or you could have the books all piled up. Look what I've achieved.
This is what I've
7 piled up here.
Yeah.
In the same way that you could have a pile of books that you've got to read, you could have the pile reducing.
Yeah.
You work through it.
Yeah. It's a good
You
idea.
have them all piled up
Yeah.
and then reducing. But finding ways, mind change is about changing your mind and helping change your mind and helping get your inner self, that little voice in your head or just on your shoulder or just outside your head, getting that little voice to work with you and get alongside you in achieving things. So instead of it saying to you, instead of your self-dialogue being, oh, you've got another 30 books to read, you're never going to do that. It's actually, you read the goal and you go, yeah, it felt good reading 30 books. How many have I read? I'm only on 7. Must get those 30 pages read today.
Yeah.
That's a little subtle shift.
Yeah.
In how you approach it.
2 millimetre shift to make a huge difference.
Exactly.
Yeah. Definitely.
And you can play with the fast forward. I've done this over the years where I've sat down and had a conversation with someone who might have been mentoring and saying, right, it's March 2025, what's the last 12 months look like?
Yeah.
And we have a conversation as if it is March 2025. It's a like-minded person that you're having the conversation with. You're exploring what's happened over the course of the last 12 months to get you to where you are now. And while you're having that conversation, you'll be amazed what pops out that you can then use and apply back to today when you go back to the future or back to the here and now and apply it.
Yeah.
Great fun.
Amazing.
Doing it along the way, but it can also have significant, serious, positive impact on what you're trying to achieve and where you're trying to get to.
Definitely. I think another technique, obviously you touched on 3 really, really good techniques there to use. One which I've been experimenting with and playing with a little bit is like imagining that your life's like a video game, or imagine you've got a film crew following you around making a documentary.
Yeah.
If you're doing that, you're not going to go to the gym and like go half in, you're going to go full in, aren't you? Imagine you got someone filming you, you're not going to be like just doing little weights like this. You're gonna go proper for it. And the same with like waking up early to go to the gym. Well, if I was playing a video game, I'd be fine. I'd just jump up and go to the gym. So I just try and think of it in that same sort of way. And it's like you can tell yourself all these things, but actually, like you're gonna be fine. you're just going to wake up and you're just going to do it.
I think you've hit on something there, James. I would call that the third person review.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's seeing yourself in the third person from a different angle.
Yeah.
What would I do in that position?
Yeah.
If I was being viewed through a camera lens. I think it's a great idea, but give it a name. Third person review. It's another mind changer that you could.
That's it.
You are using, and I think others could use that positively
100%.
too.
100%.
Yeah, if you feel like somebody's watching you, you have a slightly different approach.
You do. Yeah. I know it. I notice it in, like, you know, when I'm coaching. Like if I say something, like I give a specific thing now, maybe the entire group's playing a game, and I give a specific thing that I want to see from one player, and just have a chat with him. His levels go up, and he starts doing that thing just because I'm watching him and I brought attention to it. Yeah. So definitely, like you say, I think it was Joe Rogan who said it. Like, imagine you've got a film crew making a documentary about you, and look at how much better your decisions will be in the day.
Yeah. So who do you think should be using mind changers?
I think everybody who's trying to get somewhere. You've got to be reassessing your goals at some point, because it's easy to get lost, isn't it? It's easy to be going on a path and then something changes one day and then you're off down another path. Yeah. Actually, you need to get yourself back on the path. Yeah. And like we spoke about in an earlier episode about New Year's resolutions and how easy it is to get. I've had enough of that. Yeah. I'll maybe next year. Those sorts of thoughts. Yeah. Whereas if you keep coming back to it, it makes a big difference.
The other thing I would suggest, in the same way that we've just touched on with the books, you could have a pile of books going up or down. Same principle with the cards where you write your goals. So when you've achieved that goal, don't just bin it, put it to one side, put it in the goals achieved place. Yeah. Because then when you achieve the next goal and the next goal and the next goal, you've got a pile of cards, and you can reflect back the power of compound we did in an earlier podcast. You can reflect back. It gives you a little nudge. So initially, a couple of little cards, 2 or 3 cards, not very much. But after a year of doing that, you've got a lovely pile of cards building up. Yeah. You can see how well things are going, and it's really giving you some motivation because you can see the momentum for real, as well as the fact you're experiencing it.
Yeah, definitely. That's amazing. Very, very useful and actionable things that you can take and implement.